Okay.
Are we live?
Are you sure?
No idea.
Are you sure
guys,
about that?
Hey, chat people, I see all of you. Tell us if you see us. Because I told them I was going live, and then I didn't hit the button, and so there's trust has been broken. So, oh, okay, I see us on the thing now.
Okay, there we are.
Live.
All right.
Okay, yay! Happy Friday indeed,
Hi.
Betsy. Oh my gosh, are there even days anymore? It is Friday.
Time is a thing, I guess, still.
I guess. I wouldn't know.
Oh, you see us? You guys
Who
let
knows,
us know if
man.
there's any sound problems. I think that we do not have crazy echo this time. But, you know.
Hope.
You never know. So, I'm going to pop this little chat out so I can see everybody. So, hey. Let's start with how we are. How are you guys?
Bree, what happened to your face?
Did I freeze?
Yeah, I don't see you either.
Oh, no.
You're just kind of like a purple
Oh.
cloud. Which is nice,
No,
but it's
good,
not your
nice.
face.
Wait, okay, just a second.
It's a very lovely purple cloud.
Yeah.
I unplugged my... Okay, yeah. Just a second. I unplugged my camera. I'm winning. Guys, come on. Well, you guys say something smart while I
Obi.
get my camera back. Like a...
I have nothing smart to say right now.
Yeah, it's Friday of before holiday weekend, so my smarts have and it's also release week. My smarts have just drained out of my brain already.
Jane's right. Your lighting is amazing, Jessie.
Oh, thank you. I have some side lights turned on, and I actually directly in front of me, so right behind what you can see, is a window that I have the blinds closed because the first time I turned on Skype, it was blinding, sunlight, reflective vampire look, and I was like, that may be too much. We're gonna just turn that one down.
There's half of Bree's face.
Coming back, guys. Slowly but surely. So...
It's half of her face and also half of her voice.
Yeah,
Very quiet
she
now.
is very quiet.
Phone get messed...
Did you also unplug your mic?
Chaos and anarchy. No, it probably reset though. Okay, so this is fun. I had everything
Aw.
so perfect, and now it's total anarchy.
Jacked up.
Tech anarchy. That's okay.
Oh, now I don't hear Jessie.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, now I do.
I'm just being quiet over here watching.
Oh. Sorry, my bad. I was like, she must have stopped talking. I was like, I must not hear her, but you were just not talking. I'm not sure why that didn't occur to me, because I wasn't talking either.
Well, I mean, we'll get it all figured out. That pre-thing that we did where everything worked perfectly, that just made it so that all of the lovely fans can now enjoy us getting it, right now.
Yeah, I really got cocky there in the pregame.
You're still
No,
very
I had to
quiet,
find the
B.
microphone settings because somehow it got reset. Microphone.
Evil!
Oh gosh.
That wasn't a weird echo. That was my kid.
Hiding behind
If
you.
you guys heard that, because I said evil, and she went, evil. It's like, I don't know if my mic is sensitive enough to pick that up, but yeah, that was her, not a weird echo. I promise.
You just have some backup. You have some accompaniment there.
I do. I don't know what she's back there doing. I think she's just hanging out on her phone.
Love, sorry guys. friggin' setting in here trying to find my microphone.
Akeisha says hi, Mini Donna.
Okay, well, why don't we start by talking about your new release, Jessie? Well, I try to find my microphone settings.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you talk directly into it, we can hear you pretty well, but you may not want it right in your face for the whole evening.
I'm smooching the microphone. I
mean, whatever happens. Yeah, so this week, the third book in my Consortium Rebellion series came out. It's called Chaos Reigning. You might be able to see it here. I'm not sure how the crop is working because I'm widescreen and I think I'm square in the live stream. So it is the youngest sister of House von Hausenberg's, and she is investigating the kidnapping of her brother, and she is going to go undercover to a house party and try and suss out some intelligence.
Love it.
So, and I so appreciate everybody who's picked it up, and I've heard so many nice things, and this week has been amazing, and it's all thanks to all of the readers. So thank you so much, guys.
It has been awesome. I've seen people talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Come on. And then, yeah, that part was awesome too,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so many people read it so fast, and I was like, y'all are amazing. So I'm glad that people are enjoying it. I'm glad that the trilogy is now complete. And so if people have been waiting to pick it up until the arc is complete, now you can just power through all 3 books.
Yes, that's what I've been telling people. Is my volume better? I think I'm louder again. So
you're a little bit louder,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna put this back down here again. Yeah, the glom factor. I had to wait so long. I don't know why I'm complaining. I still got it earlier than most people because I was basically just emailing Jessie yeah, can I have it yet? Can I have it yet? Can I have it yet?
Can I have it? Can I have it?
I was so excited.
Can I have it now?
And it was I really love characters who have that whole bubbly, sort of sweet facade, and it's actually used for power. Because, she at many points in this book actually benefits from the fact that she's genuinely kind of nice and people like her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Friendship is strategic.
Yeah. We have this we have this, I think that a lot of people have this idea that if, you really want to have a badass space princess, she better be her sister, but it's there's so many different ways to kick ass, and not all of them are violent. Even most of them are not, I mean, even then the best thing is, using your head to avoid a fight.
Yeah.
That's my favorite anyway.
Or building.
Yeah, it was a fun book to write.
So, tell us about the house party. So is this I love this, it's kind of like a Regency in space.
It definitely is. Yeah. One of my favorite genres to read is historical romance, but I don't ever think I could write historical romance because there's so many little details that you need to get right for it to be truly historical. Yeah. So what I did was I took some historical elements and I just mushed them into the future where I could make up details.
That sounds familiar.
And so that was my plan. Is I was like, oh, this would be fun. I've kind of got this, this system anyway with the high houses and the lower houses. And yeah, why wouldn't they go and enjoy a summer somewhere away from, censorious eyes? So, and I didn't have to know the difference between a phaeton and a carriage and whatever the other ones are called. You'll notice that my historical, yeah, exactly. My historical knowledge is somewhat
I
lacking.
always think a
so
phaeton
I got to just
sounds
make
like
up
a
new.
spaceship. So,
Yeah.
so I'm not very good at historical.
Yeah, I still don't actually know.
No,
the
I don't know
difference
what one
between
is.
them.
I
Like,
can't imagine
I'm
it
just
in my
like-
head. I just sort of.
Yeah. Yeah.
A phaeton, I think, is like bigger than a
Donna,
barouche.
what? Oh boy, it's all clear.
What?
Someone in the chat find
A
us
barouche?
pictures.
Okay, think about like a barouche would be kind of like a little convertible. It's like a little like, rolling bachelor pad kind of, Oh, whatever. Anyway, it's off topic.
Yeah.
It's off topic.
Yeah, so that was my like, slide in some little historical nod without actually doing all of the historical research, because I believe I would fall in that hole and then never climb back out. So you would just never see me again, because I would be so deep in research that I would never emerge from the Wikipedia and the books.
Yeah.
That sounds totally relatable.
That makes sense. Yeah. I have this conversation with people a lot. It's like, I would love to write historicals, but like, I don't want to do the research. I don't want to do the research. I'm not here for it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
Did you guys all just get quiet in the chat, or did I break it? Are you still there?
No, it's still there.
I've been breaking
It
everything
works.
tonight. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm cursed by gremlins.
No.
I mean, I don't think you can break YouTube chat. That doesn't seem like
Donna
a thing.
just typed into it.
If it could be done.
Jane wants to know what gave you the idea for the series. Thank you, Jane. The chat is not broken.
Yeah. So I was actually trying to write a different book. I had written an urban fantasy novel, and I was sending it out to agents, and I was then trying to write the sequel, which is not the best idea, a book that you haven't sold or agented or anything. But I was determined that this was going to be a series, and I was going to write the sequel, and it was going to be amazing, and agents were going to be knocking down my door. I really did not think that, but that was the hope, right? But it was going so poorly. Like, the story just wasn't working, and I wasn't having fun, and it was not good. And so I'd been having the opening scene to Polaris Rising, where Ada is being captured, knocking around in my head for like weeks. But I had been ignoring it because I was going to finish this thing that I was working on. Because writers will tell you that like ideas just spring forth eternally. And so if you stop and follow like every shiny thing, you'll never get anything written. So I was like, no, idea, go away.
Why are you calling me out like this, Jessie? Why? I feel
exactly.
attacked. I feel personally attacked.
Yeah. So personally attacked. I also felt that way, but I was like determined. And then I was talking with a writer friend of mine, and she's like, have you considered that like maybe you should not write this sequel to this book that you haven't sold yet? How about something else? How about sci-fi? And I already had this like sci-fi idea knocking around in my brain, and I was like, how about sci-fi? Like, it's like she gave me permission. Like, my brain was then like, oh, okay, I have permission to work on this new thing. And then like Polaris just flowed out of my head so fast. So it worked out well, but it was an idea that I saw and was studiously ignoring for a really long time until somebody was like, yeah, maybe do that instead. Like, maybe do that thing. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll do that thing. And then that opening scene is still the opening scene of Polaris. Like, it did not change.
Opening scene too.
I love it. It can be hard though. It can be really hard to like tell the difference though.
Yeah.
Because I think that sometimes like people who are not writers, they kind of tend to assume that we know when we have a good idea or when we're doing the thing that works, but like we have no freaking clue. Like it's actually a huge like talent, not just skill, but like, you know, talent, being like, you know, good at like self-editing and like knowing, you know, like being able to tell the difference between just what you want and what you want and is a good idea. So it's like, it can be so hard, like, because when you're in that, you can't tell. Everything is beautiful. They're like, you know, you're like a mom. You're like, it's gorgeous. What are you talking about?
Unless you wake up the next morning like, and then it's all garbage.
It can be so difficult.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
a little bit of that.
Like, even the best stuff, you wake up some days and you're like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what the lack of
every single like ways. You know.
So yeah.
Yeah, it really does, because there is
my mom's in the chat.
You were reminding me. Oh no.
Mama Bree is in the chat.
Hi.
So, yay.
Hello. I'm writing you a card. I'm getting in the mail tomorrow. Mama Bree. No, you actually reminded me of something the other day, Bree, which made me laugh, because I always do this and then I promptly forget. We have not written a single book that at some point in time I did not stop and say, this is hot, stinky garbage.
I think every writer does.
She doesn't just say
like,
it's
when
garbage.
You feel that way,
like,
that's when the other ideas are the shiniest.
Yes. Now, Donna, you don't just say it's garbage. You're like, no book has ever been this hard before. Every time. She's like, no book has ever been this hard.
No book has ever been this hard or terrible.
Yes, no book has ever
been
this
hard. That
actually
makes me feel better that you all feel that way, too.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
You know what, though? That reminds me, like, somebody was saying something on Twitter, and actually Kate Elliott was talking about it last night. She was talking about how it is absolutely unfair that, like, writing books is, like, the one thing that the better you get at it, the harder it becomes.
Oh, it's absolutely true.
And, like, you know, maybe it is, like, true. You know, I say every time, no book has ever been this hard to write. Maybe I'm not just, like, pitching a diva fit. Maybe it's just true. Maybe that's just how it is.
Fair.
You know, it's continually getting harder. And I was like, why are our brains so mean to us? I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I'm with you.
I'm gonna get.
I would love to have like the easy confidence that
from the chat here. Jessie, more books in the world.
You need to lick your microphone again, Bree.
Doing that again? Are there going to be more books in the world? This world?
Yeah.
There. I hope. The short answer is I hope so. The longer answer is my publisher considers the series complete at 3. I've signed with them to do a new series in a completely different world. So if I do more books in the series, they will probably end up being self-published. Unless, of course, there's like, you know, I sell movie rights and they make a movie and they sell a jillion copies or something. I do not think realistically that is a thing that's going to happen.
I'm going to make it happen.
As far as my publisher is concerned, this is the end. Yeah. But I do have an idea for another trilogy that I would like to write, and starting with Benedict's book. So that's one of the Von Hasenberg brothers.
I want it. I want it right now. You're gonna stay on Skype when we're done with this and tell me all about it.
Well, see, that would work if I knew what was going to happen, but I am definitely a pantser, and so I kind of have like a beginning, but then I just have to figure out as I write.
Just tell me the beginning then. Just be like, whatever you know about it, tell me, because I'm desperate.
Yeah, that's the same thing that my best friend said. She's like, we can just have wine one night and you could just tell me what happens for everybody else. And I was like, that would be great, except I don't know exactly what happens for everybody else. Like, I know they're all going to get to their HEA, but I'm not exactly sure how they're going to get there. So
make it up, man. Spur of the moment. Spur of the moment. Just let it come.
Favorite couple.
Yeah, so that's my hope, is that I can write 3 more books, but it has to fit in with all of my other projects. including the 3 contracted books, because I am back under contract. So I do have deadlines to New York that cannot be pushed. So those books do come first, but hopefully I will get a chance to write 3 more books, even if they end up being self-published.
We are going to circle back around to that contract.
That's another thing.
I'm going to get these questions, but then we're going to ask you more.
Yeah.
Because I'm so excited. Okay, who is your favorite couple in the trilogy?
Okay.
Nick wants to know. Favorite couple to write?
Ooh. I mean, I really enjoy, generally it's my most recent, because I have kind of a goldfish brain. But they all have their like things that are near and dear to my heart. I think Bianca was possibly my favorite to write, just because she has such inner strength, and she was dealt like a really shitty hand in life, and getting to see her come back from that was fun to write. Kat was bubbly and amazing, and she had such a like imposter syndrome feeling, which I can definitely relate to, and seeing her overcome that. And then Ada, of course, kicked off the trilogy. Like she is my first love, because she is the book that got me the contract, it got me published, and made this dream come true. So it would be like picking between your children. Like they're all my favorite.
They're my favorite like couple, I think. But I think that it might be like, even just like on the flip side of the coin as a reader, that they were my introduction to the entire thing. And so there's always that like little glow. It's like yeah,
I know a lot of people, Ada is a lot of people's favorites, because she was first and she's the one that like kicked this off, and she was so badass and just take no prisoners. So for me, they all have their strengths. I loved writing them all. I can't believe all 3 of them are out. Like what world did we fall into where I have 3 books out? Like, this seems like it took forever and no time at all. So
yeah, I love them.
I'm just gonna warn you guys, it may get a little weird because Donna and I are having crazy weather. Thunderstorms. So if something goes weird, it's because thunder ate us. Hopefully that won't happen, but my internet is being a little weird, so. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, it's sad.
Rogue Queen books. Are there going to be any more Rogue Queen books? Melissa wants to know.
There are. I am working on The Queen's Triumph, which is the 3rd book in the series. I have been working on it for an uncountable number of months now. It is giving me trouble, and then the world sort of ended, and March and April just got sucked into a black hole where I got nothing done. But there is going to be a 3rd book. I am working on it. It will start out as a serial on my blog, as the other ones did. So rough draft will go up on the blog whenever I get far enough ahead, because I've actually, in order to get words written on it, I've actually taken to writing out of order. Normally, I write very linearly. I write from beginning to end, and that's it. But this book,
you're calling me out again.
yeah, this book has given me such trouble that there are scenes that I can really clearly see, and I'm like, you know what? I just have to make words happen. So I'm just going to skip ahead, write this scene that I can really clearly see, that I'm really excited to write, and then I'll just like figure out how to stitch them together later. But that means I can't start posting it yet, because you can't just like randomly post scenes out of order. Yeah. So I have to actually have like a book from start to finish, at least some done before I can start posting it. So it is in progress. Valentine and Sabera are getting like their HEA eventually. It's giving me such trouble. And I actually looked at the calendar the other day, because what is time, as we previously discussed. And I was like, it is the end of May, and you have been working on this book for a really long time, and it is supposed to be a novella, and it is supposed to be done. It was supposed to be done like 4 months ago. Like,
all very relatable content.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very relatable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was already struggling, and then with March and April, just a complete lost cause. Like, I'm just forgiving myself for those months. I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do. There's no reason to feel bad about it. Like, so now I am moving forward writing it and writing my contracted book on alternating days. Like, I'm trying all things that are completely new to me because I just to make words happen because my brain has been so like not in the writing spirit that I'm like, no, no, like time is ticking, books are due, we need to make things happen. So
I think that's like really an underappreciated ability and grace at the moment, you know, forgiving ourselves
Yeah.
for, you know, not being at, you know, peak productivity or any productivity for that matter. Because, you know, I mean, like, this is an unprecedented situation. And it's, you know, I mean, like, it's not like business as usual. We're just all at home. Business definitely not freaking usual, okay?
Yeah.
Not normal. Nothing about this normal. So, you know, forgiving yourself. I'm working on that. I'm working on it.
It's hard. It's so, and I'm like so lucky because my husband is working from home. We have an office set up with 2 desks because we normally play video games, so we're perfect setup for work from home. Like I normally work from home, so this is not. It seems we don't have any kids, so it seems like this should be like ideal, like go time. But no, it is definitely not. Yeah.
Except nothing about it is ideal. You know, I mean,
exactly.
like there's a lot of. I think that at the outset, like when we started having like stay-at-home orders and like people self-isolating and quarantining, that in this country in particular, there was a lot of like I don't think that people really could wrap their brains around the fact that, you know, it was definitely a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, you know, hey, we're just going to be at home for a while. Like, it's not that simple. So we had a lot of like what I call like, you know, productivity porn that was happening. Like the dude who was like, hey, why not write King Lear or something? I'm like, oh man, you know, like good luck with that, guys. Because, you know, I'm like, I had been, you know, like everybody knows that I've had some health problems the last, you know, couple of years. And I think that really like prepared me in a way that like a lot of folks weren't prepared for how things can seem like you should be able to like roll with them and get stuff done. And yet that's not what's going to happen. So yeah, I think anything you have to do at this point to like, you know, not only cut yourself some slack, but also, you know, just make the words happen. Hey, like we're in unprecedented times, try some unprecedented things.
Yep, that's what I've been doing. And it's been working, of course, with release week for the last couple of weeks, all the events that's sidetracked me again. But for the first couple weeks of May, I was like actually making words and I was like, this is amazing. I can still write. Like, because there's always that, like, at least for me, there's always that fear, like,
oh, I've forgotten how. Like, I can no longer do it.
How to write? Like, can I even write? And it was like directly after I signed the contract for the new books where I'm like, can I even write books anymore? Should I just like return this check to sender because I don't know how to word?
Yeah, like I've completely forgotten. That is no longer a thing that is an ability of mine.
So,
okay.
The first 2 weeks of May, I was like, oh yeah, I can actually do this. This is a fun new book. I'm making words on Queen's Triumph, even if they're not in order. Like, I've got this. And then, of course, release happened and sort of like blew up everything. But hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll get back on track again and get everything rolling and sort of get in sync with this sort of new normal that we're living.
So, actually, there was a question. What do you do when the writing gets hard? I think we just answered that.
Oh.
We don't know. We just try.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Just try different things. Sometimes you just walk away from the computer for a while. Like, I like to get outside if possible and just like, and also sometimes like really mundane things like washing the dishes or cleaning.
Washing dishes, yes.
Will sort of let your subconscious like mull what the problem is, and then you'll come out of that and be like, oh, like I need to stop doing this right now because if I don't write it down, I will forget. But yeah, there's no one thing that works for me. It's just try random things until something helps.
I usually, like, when I am feeling not necessarily blocked, but when I can't like necessarily see the path forward, or if there are multiple paths forward and I'm not sure which one is the right one, I usually need to step back too. And when stepping back, I mean, yeah, it can be something like, I actually love to like put on a podcast or something like unrelated to writing or romance or anything. I like supernatural podcasts, like, you know, ghost stories and, you know, tales of haunted places, things like that. So I'll slap one of those on and like load the dishwasher. I have 2 kids, so I always have dishes that need to be washed. Like there's always some in the sink, so I'll load the dishwasher, or I'll like throw in some laundry, or, you know, normally I would say, you know, maybe like run an errand that I've been putting off or something, but that's not so much of an issue these days.
Not really a thing now.
Yeah, I'm not really like, you know, just dropping by the grocery store. Like it's just if I have to go, then I have to go. But there's no just dropping in, you know. But yeah, like sometimes you just literally, I mean, like I feel like for me, stepping back is more than like a metaphorical thing. Like I literally have to just kind of like move away from the task at hand, and then, you know, usually I can work through it, or I can see, you know, something that was eluding me before. But yeah, dishes are a great way. Do some dishes.
Yeah, which is saying something because I hate doing dishes. So when it gets to the point where I'm like, fine, I'll do some dishes so my brain can think about this, like, you know that it's not the best.
Yeah.
No, I glitter. Put glitter on something.
Yeah.
So.
I need to try that.
Yeah.
Glitter.
We got a couple questions about the new series, so now I'm going to make you talk about it. Melissa asked if they were space romances. And Library Addict asked if it's going to be first-person point of view. So tell us about the new series.
It is going to be space romance. It is science fiction romance, space opera romance. I pitched it as a gender-swapped Mandalorian with more kissing.
It
is a female bounty hunter and her ragtag crew. And she is hired by her mortal enemy to find something for him. And then it is going to be a true, like, enemies to lovers space adventure. And there are some sort of secrets that I'm not really telling about yet because the release is so far in the future. Because the books, the way the publishing house works is they have such a quota for, you know, books that come out every month. And the first that they could fit me in is in, I think, January. So this is tentative. So nobody, like, you know, write it out in your diary or whatever. But January of 2022 is going to be the first book. So it is like 18 months out. But then, much like with the consortium books, it's going to be 3 books really fast. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be 2 books in 2022 and 1 book in early 2023, maybe. I can tell you what the 3 couples are because I had to figure this out for pitching. Because turns out when you sell books, they want to know more than just like 1 sentence about the first book. Which is what I want to provide because, as we discussed, I'm a pantser, so I don't really know. So
reasonable.
First book is Enemies to Lovers. Yes. Second book is going to be Grumpy and Sunshine.
Yes.
That's my jam.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. Like, Kat is pretty bubbly in Sunshine, but I haven't written like a full out, just like all sunshine all the time character. So I think that's going to be fun to write. And then the third book is 2 like tricksters falling in love.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I dig it.
All of this sounds sounds very much like my jam. I want it.
Hopefully it is. Hopefully it's everybody's jam. I'm having fun writing it. So it's, I think the first book I have to be done by October, November of this year. So this is how long, like, for people who don't know publishing, like traditional publishing, they have such a long lead time. So I'll turn that book in this year, but you won't see it for a year, basically.
I won't?
So, well,
I might.
You know,
you guys
I actually
will
happen to be an excellent editor and beta reader.
Yeah.
Remember that.
I don't even offer
You
to
guys-
beta read for her. I'm just like,
Apparently.
give it to me, give it to me.
Give it to me. Well, I feel like I should be providing some sort of,
I provide unconditional support and squee. That's all I got.
Oh, okay, that's true. That's true.
I mean, that is also highly accepted. So
that's very useful during
yeah.
times like this, to be frank.
it is, definitely is. Like, it's nice to be like, at least one person in the world likes this book. Like, if nobody else likes it, at least one person does not think it's hot garbage.
I am so excited.
Because sometimes,
like, everyone else is going to get to read this book because it was so far from hot garbage. It was so amazing.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, maybe we could do a back alley swap, because I believe y'all are writing a book that I'm desperate to get my hands on.
Yeah, we're still working on the second Mercenary Librarians book.
Yes, give it to me.
It's been really interesting, though. Like, I feel Bree sometimes will talk about, like, how like, she learns so much about, like, her main character throughout the course of, like, writing a book. And usually I'm over here and I'm like, nah, I already knew who this person was before I started. But, like, this time, like, I don't know who he is.
Okay.
I mean, I'm having some stuff where I'm learning. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's not that I am just, like, really bad at characterization. Like, that that I just don't know. Well, I mean, like, sometimes it's like, I don't know, I haven't really thought about it. That's not really the thing. It's like, this character, that's who he is. Like, he actually is, like, a bit of a cipher, like, nobody really knows a whole lot about him. Like even, his closest friends, his loved ones, like, there's a crap ton of stuff they don't know about him. And so it's like, he's so much of, like, an enigma. I don't even know this crap about him yet. And so it's kind of like coming out and, developing. And I'm like, Bree, this is insane. Like, how can I work like this? And she's just like,
welcome to the party.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to my party as well, because that's kind of how I
terrifying.
do it too. So.
Because you're always at this point, like,
It
maybe 2/3 of the way through the book, where you're like, I don't know who this person is, and actually, maybe, what if I don't actually know how to do this? Like, what if the magic thing that happens that makes me know how the best book ends doesn't happen this time?
Oh, man.
yeah, I'm feeling that.
You're talking directly to me, because sometimes I'll get to, like, the 75% mark, and I'm like, okay, brain, do your thing. And the brain is just like, and I'm like, okay, this is not good.
Because if you don't control
Time
it,
to make the magic
how do you
happen.
know it's going to happen when it needs to happen? Like, I have actually asked my therapist this. She's like, has it ever not happened? And I said, well, no, but it could. It's going to not happen this time.
But it could.
There's a first time for everything. That's a terrible question. Has it ever not happened? No. But that does not mean that it won't. You can't prove negative by the absence of something. It just means it's not there yet.
Donna's mad at my therapist.
I'm sorry. I'm not being helpful right now. I'm not mad. I'm just like, that's a dumb question. Because obviously you have considered that it hasn't happened yet.
Actually, I hadn't.
But you've, like, thought about that and gone, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen. That's just logic. I am mad at your therapist. Never mind. I'm mad. I want to talk to her. I want to talk to her about how that's not a logical statement.
We're not going to... My brain is not going to figure this book out. Donna's terrifying me.
Oh, no. That's not what I said at all.
Oh, Donna.
I am terrified. I am terrified writing this book. I'm not even going to lie. I'm completely terrified. I don't like this process. I don't enjoy not knowing, because like when I go into something, I have like the tiniest little things all figured out. And so in my brain, be like, okay, so Bree and I are sort of like a hybrid, like plotters and pantsers, which is that like, you know, we know where everything is going and we know like the development that the characters are going to have, you know, particularly together, but that, you know, we don't know exactly how we're going to get there. You know, like figuring out the journey is a journey for us, you know. I don't like not being able to go, and this is where I'm going to reveal this little bit here, and that'll lead into, you know, like, because I don't know all of those little bits yet. And I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this process. I don't like it. Bree's like, welcome to my world. And I'm like, your world sucks. I don't enjoy it. This is the pits, man. Let me off this ride. I'm going to puke everywhere.
Yes, I'm definitely more in the Bree camp in this one because I don't know.
How do you guys live? I don't understand.
Well, the thing is if I try and do your thing where I know like every little detail and I know what's going to happen, then my brain just like considers that book written, even if it's just an outline, like, and then I have zero interest in continuing to actually write the book. I'm like, well, that's done. Check. And it's, you know, however, like a 1-page outline. And I'm like, well, that was a fun time to move on to the next project. So it's however works for you. It's interesting though that you guys have like the combo, that you have both. I think that would be amazing. Like if I had somebody that was a plotter to be like, let's steer this ship back onto the, you know, navigable channel, like that would be handy.
I do think that it is handy. But I think that also sometimes it leads to, like, breakdowns in communication.
I can see that.
Because, you know, our processes can be so different. And that's something that it's not as big a deal now as it used to be. Because, you know, like, we've definitely learned over the years to, like, you know, work around, like, each other's, you know. And we've done a lot of, like, growing as far as like self-awareness of like where our, you know, processes overlap and where they deviate and where we can, you know, just basically like be a little bit, I guess, patient both with each other and with ourselves.
Yeah. She just didn't understand that, you know, I literally didn't know. Like, she didn't get it, I think.
Yeah.
Like she's imagining the way we do this, and she's like, it doesn't compute.
Yeah. Like, before I started trying to write this book, and honestly, you can definitely tell from, like, my progress on this book that I am in uncharted territory here. But, like, I literally was like, well, then how do you know what's going to happen? And she's like, I don't. And I'm like, but then how does it happen? And she's like, don't know.
Donna tried to convince me that I was lying because, like, I always laid the tracks. And she's like, well, how do you get the subtext in there? I'm like, I don't know. My subconscious is smart. Like, my subconscious, like, on some level, maybe, like, I have something going on. But I'm not thinking about it on, like, you know. So, I don't know.
I'm definitely in Camp Bree on this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is why, you guys, you should never listen to writing advice on Twitter. Or any social media.
Oh, absolutely.
Because seriously, Donna and I, like, don't write the same way remotely at all. Like, alien processes.
And we write together.
So,
we write together. And it's completely different processes.
Yeah, anybody who says like this is the end all be all of writing advice, like take that with a huge grain of salt because processes are so different between writers that there's unless the advice is like write words, you could probably take that. You can probably take that one as gospel, but otherwise,
Right words is a good starting point. It's simple but effective. Yeah. Right words. Yeah. There you go. There's the answer to how to be a writer.
The Jessie Mihalik writing advice is write words. Good luck.
Write words.
Then write more.
Vaya con Dios, buddy. Write words.
Well,
yeah, hey. I mean, it works. It works. Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of, a little bit of magic in there. And then, I always hate saying that because it sounds very... I'm not a, the muse guided me person, except for, there's... I think what it is experience or, instinct, You've internalized, or I have internalized, and you, Jessie, storytelling to a point where we know the beats and the rhythm of it and stuff, and so we're putting the stuff in there. It's just not conscious.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's very true. Library Addict says it's different between writers and then can also be different with each book you write. Yeah.
That is very
I do find it interesting that you and we are both totally writing out of order in this book for the first time. Because we're doing it too.
Yeah.
And we never do it, ever.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah. No, this is the first and only book that I have tried writing out of order. And it's just from a place of I need to make progress of any kind, because just staring at like the scene that you're working on and you stare at it and no words come and you're like, well, this is disheartening. I did that for so long that I was like, I can't do this anymore. I will give up on this project because this is just so terrible and sad. But I was like, but I know this thing is coming and I can write that. And then my hope is that by the time I write that my subconscious will have time to figure out the chain of events that gets us from point A to point B, which I normally do as I'm writing, but in this case, it's just trying something new. I mean, I'm still writing the new book linearly. That book is still going because that book is brand new. It's a new universe, new world, new everything. So I really have to write it that way because I'm still discovering the world. But with the Rogue Queen books, I do have an established universe, so I can, I know how they'll react in different situations, so I can kind of skip around a little bit more, which is helping. So we'll see. It's not great for blog posting, but if it gets me to the end, then you'll get the blog posts eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us it's that, but sending the first part to our editor.
Yes.
We'll send it to you when we fill in these scenes here between what we wrote and...
Yeah.
So... Will you caffeinate me, please?
Yeah, that's a little scarier, I have to admit, because at least with Rogue Queen, I'm kind of on the no timeline. I'm just beholden to myself and my readers, who I'm very sorry, guys. So sorry. But it will come eventually. But with the new book, it is on a New York deadline, and so I'm like, well, we have to write this one. It just has to happen. So
yeah. Well, readers, I'm sure, will be happy to get it whenever they get it. Everybody has been amazing.
Oh yeah.
So amazing. With just the fact that we're all kind of flailing around here, I think, just doing the best we can.
It's
posting our bread on the internet.
That's true. I have been baking. Before this, I did not eat much bread at all. But then, pandemic struck, and all of a sudden, you know what I need to make? Sourdough. Along with 90% of Twitter. Me and Twitter, we're on the sourdough bandwagon. So,
you see, King Arthur Flower is now a member of Romancelandia.
I saw that. And that's the flower I use, so yay King Arthur. Whoever's doing their social media is doing a fantastic job over there.
Yes, and Donna, yes, you started your sourdough starter. We never
I
did
did.
that.
I always try to say I began a sourdough starter because starting a sourdough starter sounds really stupid. I did start a sourdough starter, and my children named it Bridget, and
Oh.
Bridget promptly croaked.
Oh no.
So
Yeah,
now
I
Bridget is no
shortcutted
more.
that and got a starter from my friend who had already started one and had it successfully growing. So she gave me part of hers, and that helped me skip the hard part.
Yeah.
I have named mine Sludge because it's a very descriptive and accurate name. And so every so often sludge comes out of the refrigerator and gets made into bread and then promptly goes back into the refrigerator because I got real tired of feeding sludge every day, and I'm like, yes, this is why I do not have a pet. So like, you just go back in the fridge, you'll be fine.
I have so many animals. So many animals. I have like 4 cats, 3 dogs, and 11 chickens.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's many
8
more
adult
chickens than
and 3
before.
baby chickens.
So many chickens.
Well, no, I had 8 adult chickens is what we have, 8 hens, and then we have 3 chicks. We got 4 this spring, and we had an accident with one of them. She did not make it. So now we have 3 young pullets, is what they're called before they start laying, pullets.
Okay.
Female chickens. So when they start laying, which honestly, like, we got them in March, mid-March. So, when they're about 4 months old is when they'll go in the coop. Basically, they're in an intermediate coop, what we call the grow-out coop right now, because they're out of the brooder, but they can't be with the other chickens right now because the other chickens will pick on them.
Oh.
Yeah, so we have to basically keep them in, a separate. Chickens can be very mean. We don't have problems. We don't have a lot of problems with our chickens like being mean to each other or hassling each other because they have lots of space. But it's important that you have to do like a very careful process when it comes to like introducing new chickens to a flock. So this is part of our process. These little chickens, the pullets, will be in this grow out coop basically until they're the same size, roughly the same size as the grown chickens. And this way, like, the older chickens will be around them and be able to see them and become acclimated to them without actually having access to them.
Yeah.
So by the time we put them together, we shouldn't have any problems. We've done this process once before, and it worked really, really smoothly. So hopefully it will be as smooth this time. And I know nobody gave a crap about that, but I
do. I want to know why I haven't seen baby chicks on Twitter. Like, where's my baby chicks pics?
I haven't really like put any pictures on online, like on Twitter or Instagram or anything, because I don't know, because we lost one, frankly. Yeah. Because I've just been sort of like, I don't know, I'm weirdly superstitious about that stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, that's it, because we lost one. But they're very sweet. They're Barred Rocks, which is a breed where they have like black feathers with like white stripes on them. Ooh. Almost. So, it's probably safe now. Cross your fingers.
Just wait until you're comfortable. But once you're comfortable and they're all grown up and they're all whatever, I would love to see pictures. Because I don't see too many chicken pictures. So
MH says your bread does look good, Jessie. It really does. I saw the stuff you posted, the bread that you'd forgotten.
Yeah, that one I had a timer because you're supposed to shape it and then let it rest for 15 minutes and then do a final shaping. And so I set myself a 15-minute timer, and then I got busy with something and I canceled the timer and I said, "Oh yeah, I will do this in 1 second right after I do whatever I was doing."
Yeah, she's calling you out, B.
Yeah, and then I don't know, like 30 or 40 minutes after that, I went and it had like oozed everywhere because it was warm now because it comes out of the fridge. And so it comes out of the fridge and it's nice and, shapeable. And so I sort of like gently shaped it into a sort of loaf looking thing and just like plopped it in the Dutch oven. And I'm like, Godspeed, bread. Like, I hope you're fine. And then
Good luck.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot you.
Yeah, this is the King Arthur no-knead sourdough recipe. And it turns out it's real forgiving.
Nice.
So it doesn't require any sort of special, like a lot of them, you have to get this special proofing basket to put your bread in and then like put that in a garbage bag overnight in your fridge. I'm not here for the fancy.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. So this one, you mix it up in the bowl and then you put the bowl in the fridge overnight. Then you shape it in the morning. You put it in a cold cast iron Dutch oven, which is key for me because a lot of the recipes, you put the Dutch oven in the oven to get hot. And then you put like the dough in the hot pan. That seems too dangerous for me.
I have seen
like
those,
a recipe for
and
injury.
that would be bad for me.
Yeah.
I would hurt myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind the recipes that call for a what they call a screaming hot pan, but I can see where people could have problems with those. I mean, like they are tricky.
Yeah, so this recipe, like, takes out all the things that I didn't want to do and then still produces, like, a pretty decent loaf. Like, it tastes good. It's got a nice rise. It's, like, it looks good. So I'm like, this recipe works for me. I'm not ever going to anything else. I started with the America's Test Kitchen no-knead sourdough, which normally, like, always spot on for me. But I produced many, like, UFO-shaped breads with that, and I was like, something in this recipe is just not working. So I switched to the King Arthur one and have had no trouble with it.
All right.
Yeah. So if you're looking for sourdough that's super easy, King Arthur.
Official flour of Romance
Their no-knead
Landia.
sourdough. I think they have like a traditional fancy. Yeah.
The flour of Romance Landia.
Exactly.
They did not ask for this ad.
That's true.
Just decided to do it.
But call me, King Arthur. Call me.
Yeah, we would love
several,
your sponsorship.
If you guys didn't
several of their
see,
recipes and they've all turned out good.
if you guys didn't see them, they tweeted to Miss Beverly Jenkins, and then like they tweeted her and me a picture of their cafe, and told us that we should all like set books in it.
This is a very pretty cafe.
It was a very cute little cafe. It made me want to go there. So, yay! By the way, our agent DM'd me a picture of us. She's watching. She's watching us.
Oh no!
Hi,
Sarah.
Hi, Miss Sarah.
I've been sticking with the yeasted breads because my sourdough starter died. Rest in peace, Bridget. But also because I haven't had any problem finding yeast.
Yeah, it was completely out of stock here for the longest time, which is why I started with sourdough. And now I actually have some yeast. But I'm so happy with the sourdough that I'm like, why mess with something that's working?
My kids are like, my go-to recipe is actually a milk bread recipe.
Oh, I've heard that's super good.
Yeah, well, it's like, it's a milk bread, but it's like, I don't use like a pan for it. Like, I just, like, shape, like, basically, like, what they call, like, a peasant-style loaf.
Mm-hmm.
And just slap it on, like, a cookie sheet and let it go. But I don't know if it's good for sandwiches or anything like that, because literally what happens is that when I make this bread and it comes out of the oven, like, the kids and my husband, like, they're waiting in the kitchen.
They descend?
Yeah, they're waiting by the kitchen island, and it's like they sit there and they each like go ahead and pass out, like each have like a butter knife, and like we'll sit there and just eat it right when it comes out of the oven. Like they just put butter on it and shove it in their faces. So I don't know if it's good for sandwiches or anything really, other than literally standing around the kitchen island and shoving it in your face.
I mean, that sounds amazing.
So yeah, well, I mean, they like it, so. It's a really easy recipe. And it's really good. Why did I? There. Sorry.
It's
accidentally clicked out of my window.
No.
I can't talk to people that I can't see.
Oh yeah, I do have you guys up so that I can see both of you, and I popped out the chat so I can see the chat as well.
Yes.
Because I like to see everything, and I've tried to put you like close to where the camera is, because occasionally I'll put it like off to the side, and then I'm just like looking at not the camera.
My screen is right here. My camera is right here. I can't. Like, I'm constantly looking at the screen. Sorry, guys, but I'm looking at the screen.
But at least you're looking head on. Like, I had it slightly sideways for one of my things, and I was like, this is just not going to work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just, looking down here. But it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. We're all doing the best we can.
We are all doing the best
That's what we're doing right now.
I love that we just, like, spent a bunch of time talking about bread and chickens, and like our series, your series where you can like make food appear, the synthesizer. Like, I could use one of those right now.
Yeah. Oh, couldn't we all? Yeah. Like, wouldn't that be amazing if you could just like go poke a button on a machine and like out would pop whatever you wanted to eat, like, and then you just put the dishes in the recycler and then you're just done. Like,
I would settle for a non-discussing porridge at this point. Like, as long as it wasn't like really gross, just have something that manufactures some nutritious gruel for me, and I would be happy.
Yeah. You know what
I don't want to eat it all the time, but it'll do in a pinch.
From your world, I want the hair dyeing wand thing. I need it.
Yes.
That's like my favorite invention in your world.
I would love that as well.
Just like change your hair.
Yeah, I was like, what would be amazing? Yeah. I'm with you. And the thing that like just like put some makeup on for you. Like, I'm so bad at makeup, so like just being able to like hit some presets and then it just magically, like, that would be amazing as well.
Yeah, futuristic.
Yeah,
like
we need the science people to make this science fiction happen.
Yeah.
And I don't, that's like not something that I
need it.
See a lot, and like the sci-fi movies and shows I watch, which are generally, I think, not made by people who have to wear makeup, but like, the instant makeup thing, it's like the dream. Just no time at all.
Yeah.
Also, someone else's skill, because, you go on YouTube and you look at a tutorial and then, you're the Winter Soldier. Like, or maybe that's just me. But, like, me trying to apply eyeliner.
I don't know. I think that's kind of hot. I'm actually wearing the Maya eyeshadow palette right now. So,
it's nice.
Yeah,
I am. See if I had... I do not have Maya over here. I do have Danny on my desk. See if I can get it open.
You have the Murder Baby palette.
The Murder Baby palette. Yeah. She is... It's very Murder Baby.
Nice.
Red and silvers and blacks. Guns and steel and death. So... Yes, having...
pretty much.
Having cool eyeshadow tie-ins. She did nail polish for Ada, didn't she? I think, Cal.
It looked amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. I loved that so much. She's like a wizard.
Yeah. Super wizard.
Oh, man. Okay, do you guys have any more sports bras still stuck, MH says. Stuck, yes. Sports bras are evil.
Some things stay the same.
Always.
So if you guys have any more questions, our weather is getting even scarier, so we probably are not going to go too much longer.
Yeah.
Is that like... Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder.
Really bad. Yeah.
I hope you guys are okay. I hope it's just
I haven't actually looked at James Spann. Are we in trouble?
No, it's thunderstorms, but like nothing, within severe limits or anything. It's just heavy rain and thunderstorms. Usually things here don't really get scary unless we have really high, like, straight line winds or there's like tornado weather. So.
Yeah.
But it's just really scary.
Yeah, we're kind of out of Tornado Alley because we're too far south, but we did have the other day some like severe like tornado that went just north of us, radar indicated. I don't think it ever touched down or anything. But there was straight line winds last weekend, I think, that my husband has like this amazing tomato planter garden going on our deck, but the straight line winds made some of them like jump to their deaths.
Oh no.
So like right when the tomatoes are getting like ripe and beautiful and big and time to eat, we had some tomato plant casualties last weekend.
Aww.
So we're hoping that if there's any severe weather, because it's predicted this weekend, we're hoping that it's not wind. Like we'll take hail at this point. We'll take whatever because we can pull them under cover, but the wind itself just like tore them up.
Yeah. It's bad. That happened to my kid planted what kind of flower bush was that, Lou?
It was a hydrangea bush.
A hydrangea bush one year. And we had the same thing happen, and it just kind of just ripped it up. Was it even still there? Or did it get blown away?
I don't know.
I think it got blown away. Like, we didn't even find the hydrangea bush.
Oh, man.
Like, it was gone.
I don't even know where it is.
We had, we had staked this bush with, one of those little cylindrical, tomato cages.
Yep.
Just blew that over, and the hydrangea bush was gone.
Wow.
So it gets wild here. It gets really wild here sometimes. Library Addict wants to know if you've settled into your new house.
I have. It is amazing. I say that, but then we still have some things that aren't done. Like we still need to hang up some art, and we still have the second bedroom is still just sort of like the spare things that don't have a place to live room right now. Yeah. Because we downsized a lot when we moved into this house. We lost a bedroom and like a game room type area. So we consolidated into a smaller house, which means we have too much stuff still, even though we did like a huge purge of things where we're ruthless about getting rid of things, including books. Like so many physical books went away because I was like, I love you, I cannot keep you. I still have too many. Yeah. I still have 2 giant bookcases of books of the things that I just could not bear to part with. But the house is amazing. The location is amazing. We back to like a green space area. So we have privacy in the back and we have this nice office and we're on a cul-de-sac. Like everything is great. It is amazing. And I thought I would miss the old house more because we lived in our old house for 14 years. But moving here, I was like, no, this is our house. Like this just feels like our house. This feels like home. So I'm very, very lucky that it took us a long time to find this house. Like we literally looked for years because we had a very specific criteria we were looking for. But this is it. It's perfect. So hang up some more art and then we should be good. So
nice.
That is very cool. It is nice to find the perfect house, and you got to like paint and put down floors and stuff before you moved in, which is the magic thing.
Exactly. Like we were very lucky in that since we had the other house, we could do some work on this. We didn't have like a lease we were trying to get out of. So we got to do some work before we moved, and that made the move so much easier. Because trying to do flooring while you're living in a house, we did it with the other house, and it's hard.
Yeah.
So
not fun.
This is definitely the preferred way to do it.
Definitely not fun. We did it. We did all of our bedrooms. We have 3 bedrooms, and we got them all done in one day. We had someone come in and do it, but we had to move everything out, so it was crazy.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Yay! Okay, if you guys don't have any other questions, I am probably going to wrap up before my YouTube kicks us off for bad internet. It's so sad.
Yeah, it's getting progressively scarier.
So thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Jessie, for hanging with us.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me.
So much fun, always.
I love you.
Yes, and we
Love
can't
you
wait for
guys.
gender-swapped Mandalorian. Oh, Lady Bounty Hunters.
I want it in my eyeballs right now.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it will be amazing. I never know. I hope it will be. So it's fun to write right now, so I'm enjoying it.
I'm sure it will be
Yes.
amazing.
And whenever book 2 of the Mercenary Librarians, fires off to your editor, you could just like BCC me right on there, and it just shows up in my inbox. That would be
We'll
okay.
meet you in an alley somewhere.
We can do that.
Yeah,
Give you a little
because
brown paper bag.
you guys were supposed to have Mercenary Librarians this month. Like, this was going to be like us, you and me and Alyssa Cole were all going to release in May, and then the world happened, and so now
Yeah.
I'm the one leading the charge, but I'm super excited for the other books as
I
well.
don't think Alyssa's coming out until, like, I don't know, late this year or maybe even early next year. Like, she got bumped a ways.
Yeah,
They decided to
they
release her
pushed it
thriller first,
way,
which
way,
I'm about
way.
to read. And so I'm very excited about that. Yes.
Ooh,
so-
that sounds awesome.
I want it.
don't
Did I
know.
get a copy? I don't know if I did or
So,
not.
we'll have to do some
need to
illegal
look.
after hours book trading once we finish this book. So, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah,
Everybody,
that's
you
true.
guys all have a good night. Everybody, eat bread and stay safe.
Thank you all. Thank you
and
so much
read
for coming.
books. Space
I love
kissing.
you
Okay.
all. Yes,
I'm gonna
read lots
figure
of
out how to end the stream now. Okay, guys, bye-bye.
books. Yay.
Yeah.
I don't believe her. Do you believe her? I don't believe her.
Okay, no, I really think I did.